Hi, Dr. TAS here. Hope everyone is having a great evening. I wanted to come on and share some insights and strategies from my book, The Bounce Back. And this is my latest book, The Bounce Back, and just to help other people to catch up. I was excited about 2023. Was so excited. I knew that everything was just going to flow. And then in December of 2022, I stood up from my desk and then I doubled over in pain. And to make that long story short, I wound up being admitted to the hospital. And at that time, I really just could not understand what was happening. It appeared that, everything that I planned for, I now had setbacks. I had these obstacles that I had to overcome. And so as I was journaling, which ultimately became this book, I started to think about how do we bounce back when life throws us those curves that we were not expecting. So I think the first thing that we have to do is just acknowledge that life does not always go the way we plan. It doesn't matter how you plan it. It's always going to turn out a little differently. Even if it's great, it's just not going to come out exactly as we plan it. And so when we begin to understand that, when we have those unexpected challenges that come up, we're better able to deal with them. Now, those unexpected challenges and those setbacks, they're going to hurt us. I'm just going to be honest. It's going to hurt your pride. It's just going to hurt you because you've got everything planned out. And now you've got to regroup, but you can regroup. And so, with my story, what happened this past December, I had to regroup. And I'm going to be honest, I was so far gone. I was so far removed from what was happening with me. It really took me a while to regroup. And that's not a good place to be in when you're so overwhelmed that you don't really know what to do. And so for me, it was about, okay, how do I now reconcile what I thought the year was going to be, meaning that, the end of the year, I was going to close it out on a good note, was already planning what I wanted to do in 2023, and then finding out that it's not working that way. Hi, Lydia. I hope that you're doing good today. Thank you for joining me. And then finding out that it doesn't happen that way. But, that's the old phrase, are you going to throw the baby out with the bathwater? No, we can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So it's like, now, what do we do to make things a little bit better? Well, the first takeaway I want for you guys is that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it and adapt to the situations. We have to learn to adapt. It's like fluids, like floating, treading water. We have to learn to adapt. And so I want you to think about, keep that with you, that we can't control everything that happens to us, but we can adapt. Also, the next thing I want you to think about is expectations. I almost want to say old, but I am old, which is a good thing, but not that old. When I was working at our State Department of Education, there was a study that came out from the U.S. Department of Ed that talked about expectations. And what it said was a student's expectation may be here, meaning I can do whatever I want to do. The parent's expectation for their child was here, but then the teacher's expectation was here. So here's my expectations, my mom and dad's expectation, and then there was my teacher's expectations. So the power of expectations is real. What you believe you can achieve, you can do it. But you've got to tap into your expectations and having a vision. You're setting your goals, and you got to have actionable steps. We'll talk more about this some other time when I come on. But I want you to think about it. It's not just enough to have expectations. You also have to have goals that are actionable so you can measure whether or not you're having any success. Thinking about it, now going back to December 2022 and then the new year, whether you've got goals, because we can set goals every day. It doesn't matter what time of the year it is, or it's your New Year's resolutions. Whatever it is, you still have to have actionable plans. So you just can't have a goal and nothing happens. You got to do something. I'm sorry, guys. I just hear all these colloquial phrases in my head, but it could be from where I'm from. But as the folks would say, you got to get off the pot or use the bathroom. I'm going to say it that way. Meaning that you got to have an actionable goal. You got to do something. So having expectations without having something, having a goal, how you're going to achieve it, it doesn't get us anywhere. So intentions, this is your takeaway. Intentions without actions are like a boat or a ship that's sailing aimlessly because they're just drifting, because, the boat doesn't have the sail, so they're just drifting around aimlessly. You got to have that compass that helps you stay on point so that you know that you're going in the right direction. But at the same time, never be afraid to change course. If what you're doing isn't getting you your desired results, don't keep doing the same thing. I think they said that's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing, but you're getting the same results. We got to think about it. I'm jumping ahead, but I'm going to say reflection. That's all I'm going to say right there. You got to reflect. Also, I will be the first person to admit that navigating these unexpected storms is tough. Some folks want you to believe that every time you see them, that everything is just great. Just great, great, great. Well, I'm happy for those individuals. But every time you see me, it's not great, great, great. Because I'm constantly having to adjust to what life is giving me or what I'm choosing to allow life to give me. So I want you to understand that storms are going to come, and they're going to come when you least expect them, but you can still navigate the storm. So it's about how you perceive the storm, is how you're reacting to the storm. All of that plays into your being able to bounce back. I got to say this for you, because I want you to understand this is a normal part of life. There are going to be times that you're going to question. Hi, Marva. I hope that you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me. There are going to be times when you're going to question your circumstances, your choices, and even your ability to bounce back. We're in the flesh. We're human beings. That's a part of life. The thing is, you don't build a tent and stay there. As I stated, I was so overwhelmed with what I experienced in December through March of this year that I just couldn't even wrap my brain around it. Did I question if I could bounce back? I knew I would bounce back, but I'm an analytical person. I like to have an answer, and I still don't really have an answer. Not a true answer, but I'm still bouncing back. So I want you to understand that that's okay. That's a part of life, when you're looking at, can I do it or can I not do it? But, remember, the storms are just an opportunity for you to demonstrate your resilience. And we all have it. We all have it. Even our kids have it. And for those who are parents, schools starting back, help your child to understand that they're resilient. When they can, you tell them to do X, Y, Z, and they do it, but they do it totally different from you. Again, that's resilience, because they're thinking, they're attacking that concern, whatever it is, they're getting it, they're accomplishing it, but they're doing it in a different way. So again, we all face adversities, but we can always respond to them in a different manner. So the takeaway here is adversity can be a catalyst for change, for growth. And we have to embrace those challenges. It's not that we love them, no, but they are part of, how are you doing, Reverend Clark Kenny? Thank you so much for joining me. And hi, Vanessa. Thank you for joining me also. Again, adversity can be a catalyst for change, okay? And it's transformation taking place. So embrace those challenges. As I was about to say, we don't love the challenges that we have to deal with, but it's life. And if we're going to grow and become the best person that we can be while we're walking around on earth, we might want to finally get it in our head that the challenges are going to come. I need to now figure out how am I going to interact with these challenges so that I become stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Now, I said a little while earlier that we're going to go to this, and I skipped ahead. Self-reflection. if I was in my academic mind, I would say metacognition, thinking about the thinking. And when I learned that, I then tied it to reflection. We should always be reflecting on everything that happens, everything that we do, because reflection is such a powerful tool for understanding our journey and then making the necessary adjustments. So in other words, this is a true story, if the air is going flat on my tire in the car, on the outside of the car, and I don't check it out, then if I don't fix it, the air is going to continue to go out of my tire. And pretty soon, y'all going to see me sitting beside the road. Now, how does that fit in, TAS? I talked about reflection. You're always thinking about it. So I see that the light is on that tells me that there's something going on with the tire. I go and have it checked out. They say they fixed it. It was just XYZ. But then the light comes on again. I'm still thinking about that. Something's wrong with my tire. I need to go back either to the same place or another place and say, look, my light's on. Will you check my tire? Maybe it's a slow leak. And then, ta-da, that just happened to me. I had a slow leak. We put air in. It was fine. The sensors weren't on anymore. But then the sensors were back on. I'm constantly thinking about that because I got to think about it. That's a safety issue. So I'm self-reflecting on what's happening with my car. By me doing that, I'm able to question and figure out what's needed. Likewise, we have to do that about our life and things that are happening to us or with us. You have to think about it and determine whether or not what's happening is still aligning to your goal. Because remember, we're talking about goals. We're talking about our expectation. If what's happening doesn't align, there's no harm in backing up, making a decision to realign what's happening, realign your goal with what's going on. Because if you don't, then you're going to continue down a path, and that path may or may not be beneficial. And think about it. Are we really just living life? I hope not. But are we really just living life so cavalier that whatever happens, we're just okay with that? I've got a person that I'm working with, and he seems to be just sort of okay with that. And we're working to get beyond that. But he feels that he's not worthy of more. But we're all worthy of more because we were created for excellence. We're created in God's own image. So therefore, we can create and be anything we choose to be. So this takeaway is that transformation starts within. And as you reflect and make conscious decisions, conscious choices, you realign them with where you are and where you're going. And understand, if you have to back up a couple steps, there's no harm in that. There's no harm in that. It's okay, as long as you know why you're doing it, and then you create another path to get to your goal. I often talk about, don't use somebody else's barometer to measure your success. So let me say it this way. Don't use someone else's expectation to determine whether or not you're being successful, whether you're meeting your goals. It should be about what you want to do, not what somebody else wants you to do. Don't give the power to that person. You need to retain your power. So believing in your ability, you have potential regardless of whether, things are good at this moment or not. You have potential, and it's up to you to embrace your potential. The belief in your ability to transform and bounce back is here. It's here. You have it. When we hold on to our hopes, our dreams, despite the challenges we face, we demonstrate resilience. We demonstrate it. And your potential to overcome difficulties is enormous. So I want to let you in on a secret. Your mindset is your greatest asset. Your mindset is your greatest asset. Embrace a growth mindset that you believe in your potential to adapt, learn, and then thrive, no matter the circumstances. No one, hi, May Francis, and hi, Tamika. No one person ever gets it right out the door. It just, and for those who do, that's great. What pops into my mind is Michael Jordan. And I can't tell you the statistics, but he practiced. He didn't make basketball team, I think, the first time he went out. And so he wanted to make the basketball team. And so he practiced and he practiced and he practiced and he practiced. And then he made the basketball team. And we're talking about our Michael Jordan from right here in North Carolina, who went to the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I went to, because I met him in 1985 when I was a freshman on campus. He was walking around on campus. But Michael Jordan, he didn't make it the first time, but he didn't give up. So his expectations for himself, the resilience that he had, he demonstrated by continuing to put his plan in action and then achieving his goals. And the rest, as they say, is history. So I want you, as I leave you today, I want you to think about life. It's up and it's down, but great expectations. The act of having positive beliefs in what you can accomplish is powerful. It really is powerful. But as a friend of mine would say, you got to put the work in. So expectation, putting the work in, changing the course if you have to, which there's no harm in that. Sometimes we have to change the course. Self-reflecting so you know whether or not you're actually achieving your goals. Changing the course if you have to, realigning. That's what life is about. That's how we bounce back from whatever it is that we're encountering. So remember, you can shape your mindset, your thoughts, and your dreams. This is a powerful tool. Our minds are so powerful. And as you embrace your dreams, your goals, tap into the brain. This powerful thing right here. Tap into your brain that then will tap into your heart. And then you can make the necessary corrections as you go down the road. So we're going to embrace adversity. We're going to understanding that as we create our reality, we have to embrace adversity because it's going to come to all of us. We're going to create actionable plans, and we'll talk more about that another time. We're going to believe in our potential. Believe in our potential for growth, for change, and for transformation. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Hi, Marvin. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Marvin, again for joining me. May Francis, Reverend Kenny, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I want to help other people bounce back if I can, because it's no fun when you're sick, because I was sick and didn't know what was wrong with me, and the doctors couldn't figure it out. And we're still working on it, but I'm much better because I'm up and I'm moving around. But it's no fun, whether it's a physical something, whether it's something emotional, whether it's something going on with your family. You could be a caregiver and you're trying to figure out, how do I take care of my loved one, but yet and still live my life at the same time? Because I've done private duty and I know how draining that work can be. And it would be even more draining, I would want to believe, if it's my loved one that I'm having to take care of. So again, our minds and expectations and being able to bounce back, we can all do it. We just have to be deliberate, mindful, and intentional about what we're doing. And so, you know, my sign off is take care of you, which I changed to make sure you take care of yourself first before you attempt to take care of someone else, because I realized I was taking care of everybody else, but I wasn't taking care of me. And by not taking care of me, I have to be honest, I know it contributed to what I was dealing with and still continue to deal with from December until August of this year. But I'm still able to bounce back. Here's my new book, The Bounce Back, and you can bounce back too. So leave your comments. I'll see them if they're there. Leave your comments, questions, your insights, your strategies. Leave them in the comment section, because everybody doesn't know, no one knows everything. So someone may read something that you put that clicks for them. And that's what's important. It doesn't matter how we get to the finish line and cross it. The goal is for everybody to get there and cross it. So thank you so much for joining me with this Facebook Live. I'll be hopping on another time to talk more about how we can bounce back. Thank you again. And again, make sure you take care of yourself first before you take care of someone else. Bye now.